is 94.3 FM.
So I saw a lady cried yesterday, eh? Yes, I saw her in the shop, right? Because she has lost her 50 CDs or something. So I felt pity and I offered her 20 CDs out of the 50 CDs I picked on the floor. Charlie, too much carry will kill me. Hello and welcome to your favorite show. It is the Counselor's Corner. Yes, of course, it is a Counselor's Corner once again that we are coming to you. It's a beautiful Thursday, and then on every Thursday we are here just for you. It is about 4 weeks since we came here, since we met. In fact, I miss you so much. I miss you putting your radio on the dial on Focus 94.3 FM. But it's not our fault, eh? Last week like this, there was a streaming here on Focus FM from other places, and when certain things like this come, we just have to halt our program so that other things can be streamed. But today we are here for you. It is your favorite show. My name is Galo Fisher and I happen to be your host for today's program. And of course, I have Dennis Scott being absent again and has been replaced by Stephen and Cancer as my host for today. Yes, a big shout out to everybody listening to me right now today. In fact, when I was coming, a lady said I shouldn't. If I don't give her that shout out, she'll kill me. Actually, it's not easy. So a big shout out to you, Kwamanza. Yes, a big shout out to you. Everything that you're doing, I hope and pray that it goes on so well. Today is a birthday. Famous, senior famous. Today is a birthday. Happy birthday, Senior Famous. And I wish you well. I wish you everything that you do to be very well. And may grace abound you. Of course, we are here again. Let's play some music. When we come back, we shall dive into the program proper. Stay tuned. Me berenda to me chondo or the mami when I was shepard and rapture no you can capture some of the media mami I did the future na when in the house to say hi ni so like saw you wrong we so proud to or coffee me very pizza see I did the piano of Freddy Sweet so with them one he came to the left, to the right, facing from what's who your ba, Mr. Busso. Say your man, say baby, give it to me, I did it. But I can't continue again, eh? Hey, I've not told you this, eh? Hey, last week I had broken heart too, eh? Yes, I've not told you this. It's not easy. It's not been easy for me. But big shout outs to everybody helping me to overcome this broken heart challenge. When you're broken heart tonight. Well, we are back again on Counselor's Corner and it's 94.3 FM. Don't change your dial. We are here to serve you the best. Today we are going to have a conversation on disability. I don't know. I have my panelists very ready. In fact, today I have 4 strong panelists. I'll let them introduce themselves. But before then, Silver Lobster, I must say, Silver Lobster and a too kind. So let's hear what Silver Lobster have for us, and after that, we shall be back to continue, and I will introduce my panelists all to you. Thank you very much. Stay tuned.
And Silver Lobster Catering Services to you. We pay great attention to international food safety practices. At Silver Lobster, we have the food hygiene permit from the Food and Drugs Authority to operate. So for your delicious and healthy jollof, fried rice, potato chips, spaghetti, banku and tilapia, kenke and wache, you know where to go. It's Silver Lobster Catering Services. We also cater for various occasions like weddings, naming ceremonies, general parties, funerals and engagements. This is our newest joint at Indus Hall, Dining Hall, KNUST. Call us for enquiries and delivery on 0200-148-557 or 0202-029-057. Again on 0545-372-881.
Wow, that was from Silver Lobster. Yes, and then we are back here with you on Focus 94.3 FM. As I said earlier, I have my panelists ready for us. I'll let them introduce themselves from my left. In fact, join us on Facebook, okay? Join us on Facebook. We are live on Focus 94.3 FM. Just see my beautiful panelists and what they have for us. And I'm sure after this conversation, you wouldn't be yourself. I'm telling you, wouldn't be yourself, because me catch your new mama come and sound on my bound. Be at Nasia Ridia enough for more. But yes, of course, that is why we are here for you. And yeah, you enjoy that. We are here for you all the time. So from my left, Master, what's your name and where are you coming from? The position that you are having, everything. In fact, what's in the sure.
So I'm Samson also Bempa, student with Disability Association President.
Okay.
Shortened as SWDAK University, and also with the SRC as Diversity Officer. Yes.
Wow. Okay. This is the next person.
I'm Araba Saki, again NUST counselor.
Wow. And you?
I am Prempe Osai Kobna Victor, the current Senate Speaker for Disability and Rehabilitation.
Okay.
I'm also Clifford Osiampa, being the Vice President for Disability and Rehabilitation Studies.
Wow. In fact, get to be any means of me why for this about So thank you very much for coming, brothers and our only sister. I have not told you this, people maybe they don't say me who I'm making. Araba is helping me. Araba is the one helping me to overcome my broken heart. So Charlie, me sumpo. Well, you are not here for the broadcast. You are here for a conversation on disability, and after that, see me in chambers so that you can talk more about my broken heart challenge. So today we are having a conversation about disability. I don't know what is disability. Many people have different thoughts. Many people have different thoughts about disability. But today I know that we would have a good explanation and a thorough elucidation about disability. So when we say disability, what at all do we mean? Anybody can answer the question for me?
All right, so when we say disability, what it means is the inability to perform a specific function, of course, whereby the society believes that it's an abnormal.
Okay.
So when you are not able to perform a specific function within the society or a specific role, of course, of which everyone can perform it in the normal way, then they will say you are disabled. So that is disability. The little explanation I can give to disability.
Come again. If you have who has a disability?
So everyone is disabled. But then in a layman understanding, it is believed that if you're not able to perform a specific task or a specific function,
Okay.
it is believed that you are disabled at that particular hour or at that particular time.
Okay.
That is what the society believes. So assuming that we all know that a lot of people to walk, you just have to walk with your two legs, all right? But then when you see someone who is mobility impaired, that is using a wheelchair, we assume the person is disabled because he or she is not walking just as everyone should walk, but then he or she is actually using a wheelchair. So at that instant, the person is disabled. So that is what we mean by disability.
So per your explanation, one can be disabled, but the person could not know or something.
Yes, somebody can be disabled, but the person wouldn't know, say he or she is disabled.
So am I disabled?
Yes.
Well, wow. This has actually given this is my first time hearing this, and has actually given me a thorough explanation about disability. I think we have so much for you. My you that you are listening to me. In fact, today I'm short of words when I heard about we coming to have a conversation about disability. It's not easy. Oh. Wow. The explanation Keke Krampo is coming in my mind. In fact, so many questions are coming in my mind. Just stay glued. But if you want to send any messages, if you want to send any question, any comments towards our conversation today, just direct all comments to 0575 943 943. Direct all comments to 0575 943 943. Now, you made mention of everybody can have a disability, and even someone can have a disability, a form of disability, without the person knowing, right? So, I have a disability. I don't know. How can I identify it? That's a question to you. Okay.
Okay. So, disability,
Mm-hmm.
actually, I think from the social model,
Mm-hmm.
is within the society.
Okay.
So, having a disability actually interacts with the society.
All right.
And so, I can say from the social point of view, disability is when the society doesn't take into consideration a particular person
Mm-hmm.
during social activities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, if you have a disability and you want to know that you really have a disability, take note of how you interact with the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to perform functionally or adequately every activity you have to perform? Do you do it accurately, or I would say normally in quotes, as every other person does it? If you identify that you're not able to do everything normally or accurately as others do it, that means there may be some form of disability. But actually, what makes us know that someone is inability to perform a certain activity is when the society tries to isolate them from social activities, when social activities are going on.
Sure.
Yeah, so participation actually counts in disability. That we have to take note of.
Okay, so as you were saying, you said everyone has a disability.
Sure.
So someone who doesn't have money, when you go into the rich people's this thing, you are disabled.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they
Your money disabled.
when they are partaking in certain activities, like they won't call you some. So like indirect, that's handicap.
Mhm.
You're handicapped. So like everyone has
A form of
so
disability.
if you don't have money, you're disabled.
Wow.
Friend for money.
And then I'm disabled. You want to come in? Okay, sure.
And another to what they were saying is
Mhm.
that usually societies perceives persons with disability as people who cannot perform some activities, but I believe those activities could be performed in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
in a different way altogether,
Mhm.
notwithstanding the normal normal routes that those very particular people would use.
Okay.
Remember in second year in cancer is my colleague.
Mm-hmm.
We are in petroleum 4.
Okay.
When we were doing swimming in second year, I was given an option. One, either to write a full exam and get like everything,
Mm-hmm.
or
Or swim.
to do 60% for the
Swim.
swimming and 40% for the
Nice.
theory.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
So, as you know, all students will go in for the 100% one.
Exactly.
So I was just thinking, should I be employed into the oil and gas industry and there's a blowout where the entire platform is burning and we all need to swim?
Mm-hmm.
Will the exam save me?
No.
That's the question I
No. A big no.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided that if in this shallow depth, why don't I maneuver how best I could at least maintain myself small?
Exactly.
So I did that in a different approach other than what the other people were doing.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we all pass. I also learned how to swim. So society will perceive that we cannot do it, but intrinsically, if we are self-motivated, we can do it, but in a different way. Yes.
If you are self-motivated, we can do it, but in a different way. Now, I understand that most people can have a disability that they might not know, and then people can also have a disability, in fact, an impairment that everybody knows. In fact, sometimes it is physical impairment, and then everybody knows. But I quite remember, if Famous is listening to me, and I'm sure he is, I quite remember I was working with Famous around student area here in KNUST, and then we saw this one crippled guy, excuse me to say, and he's actually a student here in KNUST, and we are counselors, and so we know how to deal with them. But then there were a group of boys not actually laughing but mimicking around the person, the guy, and it was like, I don't know, the guy wanted to ask something from them, and it was like, as I want to show my home baby, and so Famous and I, we just walked to him and then talked to him, and then everything was brilliant. We showed him the way and all that. So my question I'm trying to establish is, these people that we see physically, that they are having impairments, they are crippled, excuse me to say, and many things can happen to them, sometimes amputee and all that. How should we deal with them when we meet them? How can we deal with them so that they can also feel good? We may be having our own type of impairment, but we might not know. But the physical type, the physical thing that everybody sees, how do we work with them? How do we make them feel okay when we see these people?
One thing is, most people look on some people like us,
Mm-hmm.
like with pity,
Sure.
but that shouldn't be the way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, as you were saying, the person just needed a little bit assistance,
Exactly.
and not for you to carry the person.
Hmm.
So that little assistance needs to be rendered to the person.
Sure.
And also, we should mind our language when
Mhm.
speaking.
Mhm.
I think we were saying, sorry for language,
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
So mobility impaired person is
Exactly.
much more appreciable.
Exactly.
I was speaking with one of my colleagues just yesterday. She's having hearing impairment issue.
Okay.
I have addressed her as having a hearing impairment issue because some researchers were around that she needed to fill a form, but she said no. For her own, like for herself, she wants to be addressed as hard of hearing and not like hearing impairment as most people would want to.
The person wants to be addressed as hard of hearing.
Yes.
Okay.
Rather than hearing impairment or this deaf, as most people address it. So we should know the person and should address the person with the right words so that the person wouldn't feel offended. Else we might think, oh, that's how we call them, but in the end the person wouldn't be listening to what you are saying. So that's very much relevant. And also another point is we need to, as my brother was saying, our environment need to be very much inclusive. We are going in for a program. We shouldn't be saying certain words. We should
Give us some of the words that we shouldn't be saying. In fact, we are here in Ghana, and then many things we don't like reading, we don't like listening. There's just a few people listening to me right now. I just want to know the kind of words that they are not supposed to be saying when they see these people with, excuse me to say, a different level of impairment.
One of my colleagues, he used to play football, but he had an accident, so the leg need to be amputated.
Okay.
So whenever his colleagues says they are going to play ball, memories.
Wow.
So you need to say it in a special way at least.
Yes.
Because it really pains him. He had a vision of becoming one of these world-known
Best
footballers.
yes.
So it always reminds him of that. So he should always be cautious when speaking. So you need to know the person and know how best you'll be able to approach the person. We shouldn't move in a generalistic perspective, as learners would always say, because it wouldn't always work in the practical field or in reality.
This is a delicate issue that we are discussing right now. In fact, if you want to come in, just forward all your messages to 0575 943 943. In fact, we have so many people who are, I don't even want to use the words again. In fact, I'll let you give me the kind of words that we are supposed to use, because I'm even a victim right now. I don't know. We are all learning. Yes, I understand we are all learning. And so at the end of this conversation, I believe all of us will learn something from how to speak to someone with, excuse me to say, a different kind of impairment, mostly when it is very physical and all of us can see. In fact, it breaks them down. But before then, I have so many questions to be asking. It's just a few minutes. Let's listen to Silver Lobster. When we come back, we shall continue.
For your nutritious, affordable, and tasty breakfast, lunch, or supper, I recommend Silver Lobster Catering Services to you. We pay great attention to international food safety practices. At Silver Lobster, we have the food hygiene permit from the Food and Drugs Authority to operate. So for your delicious and healthy jollof, fried rice, potato chips, spaghetti, banku and tilapia, kenke and wache, you know where to go. It's Silver Lobster Catering Services. We also cater for various occasions like weddings, naming ceremonies, general parties, funerals, and engagement. This is our newest joint at Indus Hall, Dining Hall, KNUST. Call us for enquiries and delivery on 0200-148-557 or 0202-029-057. Again on 0545-372-881. For your nutritious, affordable, and tasty breakfast, lunch, or supper, I recommend Silver Lobster Catering Services to you. We pay great attention to international food safety practices. At Silver Lobster, we have the food hygiene permit from the Food and Drugs Authority to operate. So for your delicious and healthy jollof, fried rice, potato chips, spaghetti, banku and tilapia, kenke and wache, you know where to go. It's Silver Lobster Catering Services. We also cater for various occasions like weddings, naming ceremonies, general parties, funerals, and engagement. This is our newest joint at Indus Hall, Dining Hall, KNUST. Call us for enquiries and delivery on 0200-148-557 or 0202-029-057. Again on 0545-372-881.
You are welcome back to Counselors Corner 94.3 FM. Yes, of course, and I'm Gela Official. I'll be your host, and I am still your host for today before it turns 8 p.m. We are discussing about, we are having a conversation about disability, and I have with me here my panelists who are diving through it. If you just joined me, you can send all your messages to 0575-943-943, 0575-943-943. So let's get back to our conversation. Now, I want us to get the kind of names that we are not supposed to mention out when we see people with different kind of impairment. Maybe just as the normal phrase we sometimes use, deaf and dumb, amputee, what are they? In fact, so many things. I'm
blind.
sure. What? Blind?
Yeah, you're not supposed to call them blind.
Wow. So it's up to you. You are 4 here. So be a 100. Okay, you know you're 400. So give me as much as possible. So, what are the kind of names that we are not supposed to be calling them?
The first name I like to talk about is deaf and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
They are hard of hearing. Some of them prefer to be called deaf. Some of them too prefer to be called hard of hearing. Some of them too prefer to be called hearing impaired. As I said, you must know the person. But then they are not dumb. Like dumb is like a foolish person.
Okay.
Yeah. And wow. I feel like it's that because most people don't understand the sign language. So when they are signing, they feel like, what is going on over here? What are these people doing? Like until I started reading the program I'm reading. Like when I see them, I'm like, I don't know, like that kind of thing. But they are not like dumb. They can communicate. Some of them are even smarter than people who don't have any form of like impairment. And mostly people also call them disabled people. The person is a human being before the disability. So you call them persons with disability. You don't call them disabled people. It's like you're using what they don't have to like classify them. So you don't call them disabled people. They are persons with disability. And you don't call the deaf and dumb. And you don't call the visually impaired blind. Like that's rude. Even you're a normal person. When me like this, okay, me I don't get offended by that. But a normal person you see, I like you're short. Like you're like, hey, so you call me short. But you see, they tell you call me cute. People also know you're cute. Sure. And they'll be like call me cute.
But at least these people want to be felt good. Yes, because I am blind, but you're not supposed to call me. You're not supposed to tell me that I'm blind. In fact, blind itself has so many meanings, which is very, very bad. Someone might have physical, like can see, but the person is still blind. You understand? So blind has so many other definitions that you're not supposed to call someone blind. Thank you very much, Araba. Let's listen to other things that you have.
Okay, so I think initially you were referring to a friend of yours as crippled.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think that word is a bit offensive and negative. So you see, these people with disabilities, they also want to feel that they are part of humans,
Exactly.
just as we non-disabled people.
Mm-hmm.
They speak. Some speak like we speak. They eat like we eat. They breathe like we do.
Yes.
They do a lot of things like us. It's just that there has been some kind of a slight deformity in their abilities. That doesn't mean you should call a person crippled. That person is physically impaired, right? And in Chi, some words are highly offensive.
I'm telling
they call
you.
some people, some persons with disabilities as yarefo,
Mm.
or yare. So you don't say or yarefo. Persons with disabilities, when they hear that, it makes them isolate themselves.
Yes.
Right, but they also have some ability in them that they can contribute to the society. Yeah. So if we do that, we always will not see the ability in them, and we always be stereotyping them or tagging them with negativity. Right. So we must speak well to them. We must embrace them. I think when we do that, yeah, it will help.
Wow. We must embrace them with our kind gestures and words. And then it is going to help them. Just as you want to be praised, just as you want to feel joy and all that, I believe that let other people also feel joy, no matter how their kind of disability is. Would you want to add more names to it?
All right. So with whatever we are discussing is very, very important, and it's more the names that we are trying to, the appropriate language that we are trying to educate people out there to understand is a global something.
Exactly.
I quite remember I had a lot of interaction with, because of the program that I study. I had a friend in the UK. I don't know, he's a very known person, Tom Shakespeare, that I organized a program with. Then I was like, so Mr. Tom, how are the crippled people faring in UK? And he was like, Clifford, are you sure you do disability studies? I'm like, yes, I do disability studies. And you are referring to people as crippled. Then I got to realize that it wasn't an appropriate word for me to use. So that is, I needed to apologize, because he himself is a person with disability. Then I was like, how are people that are mobility impaired faring in the UK? So these languages are languages that is accepted everywhere. It's a global something, just like the SRC diversity officer was saying that he was trying to address a friend of his by saying he's hearing impaired. He said he doesn't like that word. He likes being called hard. All right. So, and one thing we have to know is each day and each time different names are popping up. That is why this program we are having is very educative. That we all need to take whatever we are educating the people out there to take it very seriously, because it could happen that, just as my other colleague was saying, that it makes some people feel isolated. Not everyone will feel isolated. Other people to also react. They react to you. They want it to be that kind of let me be quiet and let's let this guy see whatever he or she wants to tell me. But let me react for him to know that so we have to take this thing very serious. It's very important for us.
And the last one, please don't call those who can't, like those who are hard of hearing, don't call them mumu. Mika, when I see people calling them mumu, like
mumu a tree word of
no, it's a Nigerian word I learned, like mumu, like
mumu. Mumu is John.
So you're calling them like mumu, like it's very, very offensive. But Ghanaians, like, so you can see people sitting on like air, like people are on radio or television, they'll be like a mumu phone. Really, like this should. So this education should go out there.
Exactly. Sure.
And one thing is, it's like, okay, let me give you a scenario first. So assuming the professors we have, instead of addressing them professor, so and so, we go and call them Mr.
Or even doctor.
You see how much they are offended. So we need to be using the right words. And as my sister was saying, some are dumb, not referring to the meaning that we're like the person is not that much, not that one. In situations where the person cannot speak, so you can say, oh, the person has a problem with speech, something like that. Usually when I'm meeting new people or new members who are not part of our association, I address them, oh, I've seen you have a problem with this. You see that most of the times they aren't offended. I haven't even seen one time that they were offended. And sometimes they will express whether they are interested in the association or not. So if you do not know the person, you need to maybe approach the person with, oh, you have a problem with this. Then that would also be cool. And another thing is, as my brother was saying in regards to the hearing impairment, yes, you need to know the person. as a matter of fact, in all the other forms of disability, you need to know the person and approach them to know of the right word that they like before you approach them with that, else problems will be there. And as they say, charity begins from home.
Yes.
And counseling also begins from home.
Exactly.
If our parents begin to teach us these right things, I don't believe you learn you grow in the society and be mentioning some of these negative stuff. Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you. I also think it's a learning process. Just as my guy was saying that, in fact, it's a learning process.
Sure.
As time goes on, you'll be hearing different kind of words and the names that we are supposed to give to them. So I think we should all charge ourselves. The counselors, just bring out some names, just sit down, and in fact you, Samson, as the SRC diversity officer, just bring out some names. Do it in a form of a PDF or a flyer form. Because we have so many people who are suffering from here in KNUST.
Yes.
And we must inform everyone here in KNUST to also know how to classify these kind of people.
Because mental health is very important.
Exactly. If you want to come to something.
We're speaking with Professor Adapais with the Social Sciences Department. So going forward, we are only hoping it will come on.
Okay.
So with the ethics course that cast across, there'll be some bit of disability courses that'll be part of it.
Okay.
So at least we all get to learn.
Everybody gets to learn.
Everybody
Yes.
gets to learn. At least in first year you get to learn these. And when you go outside, at least when you meet other people,
You know how to.
you know how to. Yes.
In fact, at first, KNUST were having a certain one credit hour program that we used to do when we come to first year. It was about culture and those things.
Okay.
It cuts across. Everybody was supposed to do it, but now we used to call it VC course, but now we don't find it again. I think we should talk about it so that we can bring it back. But of course, we are still here on Focus 94.3 FM, and we are having a conversation on disability. You can bring in your comments and the kind of messages that you have for us pertaining what we are discussing today. Don't forget, on WhatsApp or on normal message on 0575 943 943 0575 943 943. So let's take this case study. Okay, let's take this case study. You see, you in KNUST, most of us is in 4 in a room. Yes, or let's say 2 in a room or 3 in a room. I'm trying to say maybe you are in a room with this person who is having a form of impairment, form of disability. How do we make this person feel okay? Because day to day, sleeping, morning, afternoon, in fact all the time you are seeing this person up and down, coming with us and all that. How do we make this person feel okay? Sometimes you might be in the room and then our girls, our boys will be like, hey, we didn't can answer more, hey, we didn't say you, and then I said throwing up to everyone. So give us step by step, how do we get to make these people feel okay?
Okay, first of all, I think you should treat them like the way you treat every normal human being.
Like the way you treat yourself.
Yeah, like the way you treat yourself. If you wouldn't like what you wouldn't like someone what you wouldn't like to go through, I don't think is right for you to allow someone to go through. Because if it's something you dislike, it's not right for you to do that. And looking at the person's form of impairment, you should make sure you create a safe space for the person. So let's say this is the person who uses a wheelchair. Maybe you didn't know, but now you know, the person has come to the room. Maybe the arrangement of the room should be in such a way that it creates space for the person. You shouldn't make the arrangement of the room so clumsy, then in the end you come and say, you cry, your wheelchair is always taking too much space.
Yes.
You don't sit on chair, then you come and put your wheelchair, you get it.
Yes.
So you should always create this space. And to those who build hostels and things, your hostels are not accessible at all. You should find a way to make it accessible. Some people have their WC bowl so high that a person with wheelchair will have to have a problem sitting on it. Yeah. Sometimes the sinks are so high, so they can't wash their hands. They'll have to wash their hands with water, they'll fetch water and wash their hands. So just create a safe space. And as he said, mind your language, very, very. Even we that we claim not to have any form of impairments or something. If someone speaks to you so rudely, you demand an apology. So you should be nice, be kind with your words.
Oh, be kind with your words. I don't think society, we should foolishly follow society. Yes, I don't regret using that word because I'm being emotional right now. You being in a room with this person and the person was saying wheelchair not taking some space and you can say what fuck. Sorry. No, I'm getting more emotional. Wow. But we are having the conversation and so we must continue. So to you, would you want to add something, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
okay. So I also think that sometimes you must try and do things just as they do. They want to know that we understand them and we have empathy for them. So you may be in a room with someone who say having a visual impairment, right? Those people, they actually structure their environment in such a way that everything is in line. So if they put, say, their pen here, they want to come and see the pen there. So you're in a room, that person is in a room with people who are always scattering items around. So the person puts the pen here, comes, and the pen is not there. They'll be irritated.
Exactly.
Because the person can't see. So they kind of structure the environment. So they know cognitively that I put my pen here, so I have to come and see it here.
Exactly.
Understand them, know how they do their things.
Exactly.
Yeah, and maybe you're also in a room with someone who has a speech impairment, right? Yeah, or they are deaf or hard of hearing. Yes, and you have to actually try and learn some of these sign languages. Try and communicate with them through sign language. By doing that, they know you understand them, right? They know you really have empathy for them.
In fact, you have to be a brother's keeper.
Yeah, and they're going to participate in everything that is happening in society. But if you're always trying to do our things in a different way, and we think they are not part of us, they are completely different from us, they are always going to isolate themselves, and we're not going to see the good thing in them.
And these people actually sometimes go to a lot. Our lecturer shared something with us. She was like, there's this girl who was raped, but because she can't talk, like she's hard of hearing, she's a young girl, but she wasn't able to tell her mother what is going. So she started being afraid of boys. Like when a guy gets close to her, she's afraid. Yes. And they didn't understand. And then people criticize people, like people go like, oh, like let me use the language they use. This girl maybe but remember who likes you, but you don't literally know what the person has been going through. Yes. I get it. So we should find a nice way to communicate with them. And then we have people too who have, most people have it, but they don't know, like ADHD, that's attention disorder. Like the person can't focus on one thing for like a long time. That's also a form of disability. Like people who have attention disorder. So with such a person, if you live in a room with such a person, you should be able to know how to, like some people will be like, or even if you're in a relationship with such a person, because the person has attention disorder, so the person can't focus on you for like a long while. Sometimes the person will be like, please, I need space, please, I do this, like like that whole thing. The person will go after 2 weeks, the person will come back, I'm sorry, that whole thing. So you should learn to understand people, because people think like attention disorder is mood swing. But you don't have mood swing, bro. You have attention disorder. I think you should see like a psychotherapist or someone. You don't have mood swing. Even mood swing is a disorder. Sure. It's not a normal thing. You're there and you have a mood swing. Maybe you have a problem. So you should see maybe a counselor or maybe a psychotherapist. Yeah, so the person can help you, because a mood disorder, you can't let your mood disorder come and affect me.
Exactly. Sure. Something.
Okay, so I also have to add something small. So one thing, as my sister and my brother was saying, we need to know the person's condition and know how best you'll be able to accommodate the person. Previously, I was on one scholarship. So one colleague of mine, knowing that I'm the president of the association, asked that, oh, there is one lady in their room. She said she wouldn't be able to sweep. So she's asking me, and I asked of the condition. Then I told her if she wouldn't be able to find ways and means to sweep and leave her, and she understood. So sometimes if you do not know how to approach the person, you need to speak with someone else who knows the person in order to keep this. And also I also want to compliment Mastercard Foundation for what they are doing. For some of us who are on campus, some of us have severe conditions, so they call some people ambassadors. They are part of the MasterCard scholarship.
Okay.
So they be with the people, even going to lectures, everything,
Okay.
and help them throughout.
Okay.
They are students like us, so we can also do that. You never know where that person you are helping will get to in the future. Maybe at the end of school, you might not even get a job, but the person will be having job and will be having that potential of employing you. But if you treated the person harshly, you expect the person to treat you nice. It's really
That's very wonderful from MasterCard. Big shout out to MasterCard.
Great.
Yes, and I think a big shout out also goes to the counselors. In fact, the peer counselors. It's not easy. In fact, they are doing so much. If all the attention, if all the people here in KNUST are being aligned to the main counselors, I don't think they can sleep. In fact, the peer counselors are also doing a lot.
Yeah.
Big shout out to everyone, the president, and everyone listening to me right now. So we are still having a conversation, and the conversation is about disability or persons with disability. Stay tuned and learn with us. But before then, stay. We'll be right back. Let's listen to Silver Lobster.
For your nutritious, affordable, and tasty breakfast, lunch, or supper, I recommend Silver Lobster Catering Services to you. We pay great attention to international food safety practices. At Silver Lobster, we have the food hygiene permit from the Food and Drugs Authority to operate. So for your delicious and healthy jollof, fried rice, potato chips, spaghetti, banku and tilapia, kenke and wache, you know where to go. It's Silver Lobster Catering Services. We also cater for various occasions like weddings, naming ceremonies, general parties, funerals, and engagement. This is our newest joint at Indus Hall, Dining Hall, KNUST. Call us for enquiries and delivery on 0200-148-557 or 0202-029-057. Again on 0545-372-881. For your nutritious, affordable, and tasty breakfast, lunch, or supper, I recommend Silver Lobster Catering Services to you. We pay great attention to international food safety practices. At Silver Lobster, we have the food hygiene permit from the Food and Drugs Authority to operate. So for your delicious and healthy jollof, fried rice, potato chips, spaghetti, banku and tilapia, kenke and wache, you know where to go. It's Silver Lobster Catering Services. We also cater for various occasions like weddings, naming ceremonies, general parties, funerals, and engagement. This is our newest joint at Indus Hall, Dining Hall, KNUST. Call us for enquiries and delivery on 0200-148-557 or 0202-029-057. Again on 0545-372-881.
Okay, that was from Silver Lobster. You are still right here with me, yes, and my producer, the name is Stephen Nkansa. He's doing the well. He's doing everything to make sure this program goes on well. And then just go to Focus 94.3 FM on Facebook to see us, see everything that we are doing here. And then it is even, you can even watch the recap there later. Don't worry, we have it here for you. And in fact, this is something that we are all learning. In fact, this video will be there for so long time, and so you can also tell other people, you can also share to other people so that they can come and watch and learn for themselves. Conversations on disability or persons with disability. Now we are here in KNUST. I'm sure so many people, in fact myself, I have a form of disability, and so where do we seek help? Where do we go? We the people, where do we go?
Alright, before the SRC diversity officer comes in, I would like to, as the vice president of Cadres, in our constitution only, we seek for the welfare of persons with disability. So if anyone who has a form of an impairment is seeking for assistance, the one thing that I'm actually trying my possible best to do is to actually collectively work with the SWEDA presidents to make sure that persons with disabilities on campus, in my own capacity, what will be able to help or be able to assist in any way we can. So if anyone has any issue or anybody or any person with disabilities who is on campus seeking for an assistance from anywhere, then graduates welfare is actually open to assist the person too as well. So I'll leave it to this one.
I also come in a bit. So as my brother was saying, we work together. And if students also have some challenge, they can go to den of students. Usually some go there with their issues and later on are referred to come for us to speak with them and also add them up to the association.
Okay.
And also the KNUST Counseling Center.
Okay.
Yes, Madam Victoria has been much helpful.
Okay.
Yes, and even we are working on something. It will soon come out. Some of our people would also be trained as peer counselors, so that some of our people who are having issues will be able to counsel them. Usually, they do not want to go to other people. They want to speak with ourselves. Yes, because we are in the same soup. Yes. So
with your points, mostly people don't want to go to other people. Mostly people that they don't know. Why should I go to a counselor? In fact, it's so much, and I'm now going to be friends with a counselor. I'm going to pass through certain things and all that. So maybe we can do this exercise. What should the person go through? In fact, line by line, one by one. How can we, or the person listening to me right now, the person in the room with this person, how can this person, in a small way, in a mild way, counsel this person?
So you need to, as I was saying earlier, you need to know the person. You need to know what the person is going through. You need to know how far the person has come to. So one thing is, one of my colleagues reached out to me that he had some friends last semester, but they are not coming close to him any longer, and his condition is a bit mild. So I need to sit with him and speak with him. And one thing is, he came into school with the same requirement as those people. They all have the same vision of completing it.
We are literally paying the same school fees.
Exactly. And some people weren't able to come. So you feel at home. And I emphasize that with a mango fruit. When it's green, people do not come for it. When it's ripe, people come for it.
Exactly.
In the end, the fruit, as in the seed, is thrown away. Irrespective of whether the person who ate the fruit was around or not, the seed has the potential of growing, right? Irrespective of the person not being around. So if people disattach or detach themselves from him, he shouldn't worry. He still have the potential to grow.
Exactly.
And should find new people to live with. Another also reached out to me that he wanted to kill himself.
Wow.
Because of the things that people are telling him. And the same scenario, I told him some people weren't able to come, in quotes, they are able. But with his situation, he came into school with the same requirements as those in his class. So he should feel proud of himself. If those people are not valuing me, he should know him very well, verily that in the end there is something for him. So sometimes he should just sit there and be envisioning the future that he anticipates for himself, and that will be motivative enough.
Wow. So Arawa, you were talking about the fact that someone maybe a lady and then a guy, maybe you'll be in a room with this person and then just like the person in a wheelchair, and how do you have to deal with the person? Mostly with ladies their problem was more, so mostly with ladies. Maybe, let's even put aside your normal halls, because I don't really see the number of people like with disability here in our halls, but in our hostels, maybe you find yourself with other two or other one person in your room. The person is sitting in a wheelchair, but he has come to school, she has come to school to learn. If you go into a room with this person, how do you relate with the person? How do you counsel the person so that the person will feel good? Araba.
Okay. So ladies mostly, from what I know, they open up to you if you make them feel comfortable.
Okay.
And ladies are more of what they hear with, so make the person true. Ladies are more of what they hear, as guys are more of what they see. So make the person feel herself with, you get it. Mostly speak positive about the person. The least thing, let the person feel so special, so important.
Okay.
You see, because already some of them feel so down, because of their condition, they look down on themselves already. So maybe just she's wearing something, I like your top, it's so nice. Hey, so someone to, you get it, the person is going out, they're looking so nice, just something, and then establish the rapport. And I always say, be kind, be nice to the person, and know the person know what the person likes and then what like the person doesn't like, because and ladies too take little things like some unnecessary things, some unnecessary things. So that's like sometimes it's fun though, but
well, any other? Okay, you would want to add?
And add up to what she was saying. It's very true. I have one friend in one of the public universities. She's also using wheelchair, so she's a mobility impaired person. Yes. So I always see her posting videos about. She's always happy.
Wow.
And there's always one guy who is always supporting her. So if you're able to make such people feel comfortable, and as she was saying, appreciate them, they wouldn't feel exterminated from the society. They will always feel inclusive. Yes.
And then let's talk. Let's have a conversation about themselves. In fact, the persons with disability. How do they also motivate themselves? Because I'm on TikTok and I've been seeing this guy who has I don't even know how to say it. One leg is off, and then the person dancing, the person doing all sort of videos. In fact, very very happy.
even there's this show like that.
So how do they motivate themselves?
Actually, persons with disability, they are not incapable. They have ability.
Exactly.
So you see someone who has an amputation, maybe in the right lower limb. That doesn't mean the person cannot perform a certain activity, like maybe dancing,
playing football.
Playing
In
football.
fact, we even have amputee football.
You see, sometimes it's even nice seeing them act in those ways. Some people pay money to go and watch.
It's nicer compared to those who
yes, it's much nicer.
Adult
TV or something.
They do that for those.
In fact, big ups to them. Big ups to them. Yes.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean they are incapable. They can also do it. Just that they do it in a different way. That is disability. So the ability, how you perform the ability, they will do it in a different way. And at the end, the results is the same. Nothing different. Yeah, they all dance. Yeah, so that is how they motivate themselves, right? And when they see that they can also add up to diversity, like that's diversity. Yeah. So is it in a society, doing things differently actually makes things look nicer.
Exactly.
Yes, and so that is what we have to know, and that is how we have to embrace them. It's like we shouldn't follow one way of doing something. Let us also know how they do their things so that we can ensure diversity in the society.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Let us know how they do their things so that we can ensure diversity in our society. In fact, it's just some few minutes to 8 o'clock, but I have learned so much in this 1 hour long. From 7 to 8, I'm telling you. More than 3 credit hours, I'm telling you. I've learned so much. In fact, I know that you, the one listening to me, also have gotten something in your number 7. I believe that we are going to use this as more and more as we live with people with disability and all that, so that they can also feel good, as in a way that we do, and also feel good. Yeah, you are listening to Counselor's Corner. I just have some few minutes, but I'll let them say their final words. In fact, their final words and shout out in the next maybe 30 seconds each will be good for me. And then so quickly, let's do that. 30 seconds. Samson.
I think I forgot something, so I need to mention it. So Dean of Students, Counseling Center, SRC Secretariat, Center for Disability and Rehabilitation Studies. Or we also have a Twitter page. They could also reach out to us. Yes. So in a gist, what I'll say is disability is not inability, but strength in a different way. And we all need to make persons with disabilities feel comfortable. You never know if you give birth to a person with disability. Learn how to live with persons with disabilities now, and that'll be it. Thank you.
Wow. What about you, Ara? Your final words. In fact, you didn't give us shout-outs. What about you?
Okay, so my final words. Let us all like embrace these people to help create a society for all through an integrated approach.
All right.
Okay, so shout-outs to everybody. And shout-outs to my mommy. Today's her birthday. And
today's a man's birthday.
Oh, and shout-outs to
what's her name?
Hold on. Shout-outs to Financial BBY. Big ups. You are doing a great work. We see you.
All right, sure.
Yes. My house name is Mama.
I'll see you in Chambers. What about you?
Okay, I'm Victor. My final verse, I would say that actually I like the social model of disability.
Okay.
That disability does not reside in the person, but rather in the society. It is society that disables people. If someone is in a wheelchair, they can actually get to where they want to get to.
Exactly.
If there are no barriers in the environment. So let us ensure an accessible environment and take away all the barriers in the society.
Wow.
Shout out to my friend Emmanuel Usubuachi, and also my friend Sewa. Today is a birthday. Yeah.
And then the 1 million birthday. So final words.
All right,
20 seconds.
so this is what I would say, that we also need to understand that persons with disability have a special ability in the disability that they have. So that is how we need to see them. And also to end with, if we have anybody who is actually disabled one way or the other, the only thing that we need to do is just to motivate the person. So shout out to my executive council and to my graduate fellowship president and to my mother as well. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for listening to us. In fact, our show was done. Yes, I will be 1 minute crown. In fact, we are not supposed to do that, but we are here for you on every Thursday. We are making sure that next week we shall be here. My name is Gala Official, and I had with me here all my panels. In fact, they were so much brilliant in our conversation today. Of course, Stephen in Cancer was my producer. Stay tuned. Till next week, we say bye bye.
For your nutritious, affordable, and tasty breakfast,